Hello, welcome back to Gianpaolo Cherubin's Selections channel. I am Gianpaolo Cherubin.
And I am Anitra Srisuk. And first, we like to thank all the subscribers and for those of you who gave us the thumbs up, who shared our previous video, and for those of you who left us your thoughts and comments, we truly appreciate it. But if this is your first time watching, please consider subscribing, or you can click up here to watch our first video. Well, last time we had some Thai takeouts and we paired them with different types of rosés. What are we doing this episode, Paolo?
Well, this time, Anitra, I thought that we should have a home-cooked meal.
Yeah?
The clicker is that we're going to have Italian food paired with Spanish wines.
All right, and we'll find out what they are right after this.
Yes. We're back to tell you about the food and the pairings. So tonight I prepared these homemade semolina noodles called Pici. They're a typical Toscan dish. The twist on this is that I made a ragu with fresh octopus. So that's a little bit unusual. And there's also some potato, which was cooked in the sauce. And then we have some other side things. We have some focaccia in a Genovese style with just pomodorini and some shaved grana. And then we have some fresh fennel with a very, very hot pepper sauce that I made just because Anitra loves spicy food. We'll have that as a palate cleanser in the end, because otherwise it will ruin our palates for the wines.
And for our Spanish wines?
And for our Spanish wines, so we are celebrating Bierzo tonight, and in particular this winery called Cobertizo. Interestingly enough, the winemaker is a fairly young winemaker, and he made wines in Italy for 7 years after graduating from enology school in Spain. Then went back to Spain and brought his heritage of whatever he had learned in Italy, brought it back to Spain and implemented it into his local winemaking.
Can you tell us why the Spanish wines, especially the Mencia and the Godello, would go well with these dishes?
Yes, absolutely. So Godello is most likely the most complex of white grapes or white wines you're going to encounter in Spain. So we are here in Bierzo, by the way, which is close to the Atlantic. So it's one state removed. There would be Galicia, just west of Bierzo. And we have influences of the Atlantic Ocean. And the grape that is produced here just makes these really wonderful, rich, richly flavored wines that can go with rich food. So, and this is to show you how a ragu made with fish, but octopus, which has a lot of natural gelatin, like beef in many ways, it really can go very well with a big body white wines, as well as with a lighter style red, which is the counterpart from Bierzo, and the grape variety is called Mencia. Mencia is always, it's like a chameleon. It depends on how the winemaking style is, how it is aged. In this case, we're drinking a Joven, so this has no oak aging. And in this case, it has a very fresh, sort of blueberry, floral aromas, and I think it will also be a nice complement with what we're having.
All right, now let's taste the Godello first. Okay?
Cheers.
Cheers! Now I see why you have the fresh fennels on the table, because this wine reminds me of fresh fennels.
You are so clever. Yes, I get fennel, fresh fennel.
Yes.
I get saffron. You know, this wine, as I said, especially with some bottle aging, it acquires obviously a bit of oxidation, but with it lots of tertiary aromas, which is what we have here. And I thought this would really match the complexity of the dish that we're having.
Absolutely. Now let's give it a taste. Very nice taste of green apple, some green fruits. Very beautiful minerality.
Yes. I think that minerality, that sea salt that you get on the finish, that was also something that echoes, you know, the seafood flavor of the octopus and brings it out. But I think that fennel part kind of lightens it up and brings a fresh element to it, which is kind of a nice nuance.
Now we're gonna taste the Mencia Joven. What's on the aromas, Paulo?
Yes, I get a bit of most coffee at the very beginning of
Oh yeah,
the
I get that too.
not like freshly roasted coffee, but like a faint aroma that is there. And then I still get some sort of vegetative quality, but it's savory herbal, like maybe laurel leaves or, you know, savory herbs.
Yeah, I get a little bit of the licorice.
The licorice here too. So
Yes.
it's funny because, you know, it's really the soil of Bierzo and influence of the Atlantic Ocean, because we got the fresh fennel in the white wine and licorice in the red,
There you go.
which are closely related,
Right.
but they're very different. Here is black licorice. I also get like pomegranate or fresh, bright red
Red
fruit.
fruits, yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
it is very fresh on the palate, gentle. The tannins are very soft. Again, there's no oak in there, so there is no filter.
Right.
You really get the full flavor of the grape variety.
And a bright acidity as well.
Bright acidity, yes. That's also the reason why I thought it would be great with seafood.
All right, are we ready to dig in?
We are, I can't wait.
Let's do it. But the Godello goes really, really well
Yes.
with the pasta.
Yes.
Can you explain more why a
Well-
heavy white wine goes well with heavy food?
I always say when you're matching food, think of having the pharmacist scale. So what you want to do is the food on one of the plates and the wine on the other. So first thing is the overall essence of the dish, the savoriness, the whatever quality it has. The wine should sort of echo that. When there are some special herbs or some special things that are precious notes in that dish should be kind of found in the wine, or the wine should sort of prolong those effects, you know, of the dish. In this case, the Pici are hand rolled, so I made these with just, and they're very poor pasta. There's no egg, so it's just semolina, water, oil, salt. That's it. And then you roll them by hand. They're thick and they have a very important kind of consistency. They're chewy. And then you have this rich sauce that you make it the day before, and it releases all this gelatin. So you have all this richness and natural salt, and then the potato. So all of this, it's really, I think, a wonderful.
It is absolutely wonderful.
Okay, so I wanted a bite of the focaccia just to see what would go best with that. And this is pretty plain. It's just, again, a focaccia made with semolina and some tomatoes and dressed with some herbs, and then some shavings of Parmigiano. And
It's nice and crispy. So why do you think the Mencia Joven would go
Actually-
really well with?
actually, I like both wines with this.
Yeah?
Again, yes. I mean, it's really a toss-up. The red wine brings out the cheese and the salty character of it.
And the
But the
tomato
white,
base,
yeah, the white wine brings out the actual,
the yeast character.
yeah, the bread,
The bread
you know, the
character.
focaccia itself and the tomatoes, and yeah, it's interesting. And this is why it's fun sometimes to have more than one wine with the same food, because it makes it fun.
Wow, the pairings were phenomenal. Paolo, so do you have any tips for all the food and wine lovers out there?
If you weigh on one plate of the scale your food and on the other the wine, and you have, a balancing act between the two, this is when you have the correct pairing. So what I look for is sort of a common ground between the dish and the wine. Something that can echo perhaps the consistency, the texture, or sometimes if there is a particular spice, the level of acidity on a dish to match the acidity on the wine. So lots of things, a wine can help bring out certain elements of a dish. So if you want to emphasize certain things, then you choose one wine. The fun about having a white and red is that the same dish, you can emphasize different aspects of it. So my advice is just don't be afraid, don't be scared to try. That's the only way to know and to learn.
Right, you gotta branch out and experiment. Yes.
Exactly. So just go with your gut instinct a lot of times and go with it. Have a white and a red. Have a rosé and a sparkling. Have a rosé, sparkling, a white and a red. Have all of it. So, and just have fun. That's the most important thing. And have fun and enjoy food and wine together.
Well, there you have it, our second episode, homemade Italian dishes by Chef Paolo and some Spanish wines. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. And thank you for watching again. Until then, ciao!
Arrivederci alla prossima!